Let's turn now to a vascular cardiologist, Dr. Bernard Ashby. He's professor of medicine at Florida State University. Professor, doctor, thank you very much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it. I know you don't have any specific information about Damar Hamlin, but you hear cardiac arrest. You see what you saw on the field yesterday. You hear nearly 10 minutes of CPR being administered there. What do you take away from all of that?
Well, just pulling up my video here, but first and foremost, my prayers go out to the Hamlin family and Mr. Hamlin himself. I'm hoping and praying for a full recovery. This condition that he had, it can actually have a good prognosis depending on what happened, which again, we have limited information, so we can only speculate at this point.
Doctor, what do you take away from the fact that it was about 10 minutes of CPR? How critical are those early moments after cardiac arrest?
Well, it's well known that the first minute, seconds are critically important. We have a saying in cardiology, in medicine in general, that every minute is oxygen deprivation, and every minute decreases your likelihood of survival. So it's important that anytime someone has a cardiac arrest, which is just another way of saying that your heart stops, there's a bunch of things that could cause your heart to stop. But in his case, it appeared to be VTAC or VFib, which is a ventricular arrhythmia. And if it's treated right away, the chances of survival are actually pretty good. And if he gets the AED or the defibrillator early on, they do very well, particularly in younger, healthy people such as Mr. Hamlin.
So, doctor, obviously, you haven't examined this patient, but walk us through, if you will, we've been talking all morning about how a hit like this is seemingly relatively routine in an NFL game, but yet something caused this man's heart to stop. Can you tell us as to the type of impact, the exact timing of was the heart out of rhythm? Explain to us how something like this could have happened, where something seemingly routine could turn into something really tragic.
Great question. Myself and other doctors, including cardiologists, when we saw the video, it looked very similar to a condition called commotio cordis or commodio cordis, which is really kind of a freak accident. It has to happen right at the point in the cardiac cycle where the arrhythmia will be triggered. And that's between 10 and 30 milliseconds. So it's extremely rare. It's an extremely bad, I should say, for lack of a better word, confluence of factors that would lead to that. And it leads to an arrhythmia that we call VT or VFib. So this is a normal heart here, right? And this is the electrical circuits inside the heart. Okay, this is the outside, that is the inside, and the heart has its own electricity, which makes it unique amongst all organs. And this is what the heart looks like when it's in VFib. So essentially, even though the heart is actually moving, it's fibrillating. And so we still call this cardiac arrest because there's no cardiac output going to the brain or the organs. And so that's why CPR is so important. That's why we say, when you're doing CPR, you want to squeeze the heart because you want to increase that blood flow to the organs, mainly the brain, because that really is what mediates your patient's prognosis.
Well explained. Dr. Bernard Ashby, a vascular cardiologist, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. And Mika, we'll, of course, be waiting to hear from the hospital, maybe from the Buffalo Bills. Everyone kind of holding their breath and hoping for the very best for Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, so far all we know is he's in critical condition, and we're waiting for an update. And, of course, we'll bring those developments right to you.